Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday. I'm actually recording this again because I was recording on the wrong part, so when I needed to be recording, I wasn't recording, and when I didn't want to be recording, that's when I was recording. So we're gonna give this another try. For today's video, I did have a poll on my Instagram this week where I asked my followers if they would rather see a video on loose wavy curls, so a tutorial on that, or if they would rather see heatless hairstyles for maybe a messy hair day. And that one only lost by 1 vote, so I'm definitely going to be doing that soon. I've already gotten a lot of hairstyles prepared for that. Actually like 27, 28, I think, almost 30. So I'm still trying to decide on that. It's going to be a couple weeks away at least. So yeah, I have been trying to decide whether I should shorten my list or make like a part 1 and a part 2 and just make 2 separate videos out of it, or just keep it all into one video. Maybe like 27 hairstyles, that would probably be at least a 30-minute video. So whatever you guys would prefer watching, please let me know in the comments below. I'm still trying to decide on that. But for today's video, I will be showing you guys how to get your hair from this this is my everyday it's not boring, I wear it like this a lot when I'm being lazy, but everyday natural hair to this. Alright, so the first thing I do, like I was saying, I brush out any tangles that are in my hair. So I'm just going to take my brush and make sure I go over everything, make sure I brush it all out nice and smooth. And I did just wash my hair today, but I think this is also like, it's really nice to do loose wavy curls when you are having a bad hair day or have like 2 or 3 day old hair. I like to just throw a few curls in there. So this is gonna probably look a little more curly than it would if I had done it on a day where it had been 2 or 3 day old hair. But I'm definitely going to do my best to make them loose wavy curls and less curly curls. Alright, so the next step, so step number 2 is going to be parting your hair so that you have sections of it to curl it. And you can use a clip or whatever you're used to using for parting your hair, but I use a ponytail. So if you guys would like to follow along with the way that I section my hair, then you can do this as well. But if you have a normal way you like to section your hair, that will work perfectly fine. This is not going to make or break your hairstyle. So I'm first going to, I just pull my fingers back and kind of like I'm going to do a half up hairstyle. And I have all this hair down still. All of this hair is down. But then this hair up here, I just pull it towards the top. And kind of, I just crease it a few times, put it in like this little bun up here, so it's nice and high and out of the way. And then I just pull around my 2 sections to the front, brush them out a little bit in case there's any tangles left in there. And then I usually start with the left side. So I actually was, for a while, I used to curl my hair with my straightener. I have an Amica straightener, which I don't really like anymore. But anyways, my point of that was I was curling my hair with that for many years. And then I got a curling iron because I loved the way my hairstylist did it. But I could not figure out for the life of me, like, I always curled my hair with a regular curling iron in high school, but it was like those skills had completely left me and I didn't remember how to curl my hair. Because every time I tried to curl it with the clamp and everything, there would be horrible creases in the end and it just looked terrible, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? So I just kept practicing and practicing, and then finally I figured it out. But when I got the curling iron at first, I was just using it like a regular wand, just putting the curling iron downwards and then wrapping the hair around it, or the other direction. That's what I was doing for a long time, and I still do that sometimes. It depends on what kind of curl I'm going for, because that does look a little bit different than when you're using the clamp. Okay, so I'm gonna grab a hair about as thick as I just had it. Okay, so this is the trick I learned. So if you're wanting the curl to go outwards, you need to, it's pretty much like opposite. If I want an outward curl, I'm gonna put, yeah, it is like opposites. I'm gonna put the curling iron inward. So it's on the inside of the hair if I want it to be, to go this direction. if I want the curl to go the other direction, if I want the curl to go inward, I'm gonna put the curling iron on the outside of the hair. So just remember that, try to remember that in your head. So on the first one, I usually always do an outside curl. So I'm gonna start up here, and then I just flick the hair behind it. Whoa! Just flick the hair behind it like I just did, and then I just kind of pull it gently. I don't want to pull my hair too much. So if you just lightly push on the button of the clamp of your curling iron, then it goes down a lot more smoothly. When I'm trying to do loose curls, I don't leave the curling iron on each hair super long. I just leave it on there for a few seconds each, keep winding it down towards the bottom, and let it go. So I'm just gonna push that hair to the back and start on the next hair. So see, I have 2 sections on the bottom. Really, if you're wanting loose curls, I wouldn't separate this more than 3 times, depending on how much hair you have. But yeah, I already think that these sections are a little too small for the style I'm wanting. I'm going to do exactly what I just did. I'm going to make sure this hair is staying wrapped around the curling iron and isn't in my way. Just remember, it kind of gets confusing what to do with that extra hair at the end. Just always remember to have it keep having it wrapped around the outside of that. And like I did last time, I just kind of gently pull it through, pushing this button very lightly so that the hair is not coming out. And I like to try to do it kind of slowly so that each hair is getting curled, but I don't like to leave it on there too long because I don't want it to be too spiral. So sometimes I leave the ends out at the end, sometimes I go almost all the way through. But either way, it still looks really good. If you leave the ends out, it'll probably look a little bit more wavy. I still have to like tell myself each time, like, which side do I need to put it on? But once you get the hang of it, it gets really simple. So before I move on to the next section, I am going to take my hairspray and I'm going to spray that section. Not too hard, just a few light spritz, just like that, so that it's at least staying in place. But I do have thick hair, so curls stay in my hair pretty fairly easy, but the more hairspray you need, if you know you need more hairspray because you have thinner hair, then definitely spray on more hairspray. But when I do like a loose wave, I don't like spray it super thick with hairspray. I only spray it super thick with hairspray if I'm doing really big spiral curls, or if it's in the summer and it's really hot or something like that. But I'm just going to do it upwards this time. So whichever way your hand feels most comfortable, I would do it that way. Just keep following the steps of letting this hair fall behind it and just pulling it through. Lightly pushing on the button of your curling iron and pulling it through, not leaving it on there too long. And I'm sure you guys have heard of this before, but yeah, the reason I do one inside curl, one outside curl is just because it makes the curls flow together a lot nicer. They're not all falling in the same direction, so it just makes the curls overall just have a better flowing look because they're all they're not flowing against each other. Like one's flowing into each other, one's flowing out of each other. But I just think it overall makes it look a lot nicer if you do that. Okay, so now I'm just going to throw all of that in the back while I'm going on to the next section. So today I have a side part going on. I was for a while, I was always doing a middle part, but it's like now all I do is a side part. But I still really love a middle part. I need to do that again soon. So I just pulled over this section of the hair because this is where my part is right here. And like, I don't know if this is a trend or not, but I like don't like my part being super straight now. Like when I brush my hair and comb it out after a shower, I just kind of like, I get it in the general area, but I don't make it like a super straight line. Like it flows kind of however it wants to. I think it makes the hair look more natural. But if you're going for like a straight haired look, I'd probably make sure the hair was a really straight part. Or if it's down the middle, then for me, it has to be absolutely perfectly straight. I'll do it like 10 times if I have to get it perfectly straight. But if I'm just going for loose natural curls, or even if I do big flowy curls all the way from the top of my roots and everything, I'll just let the hair kind of flow wherever it wants on the part. I like how that looks. From the face, I always do the curl outwards. Oh, when that clamp clamp is up, it gets in the way. So make sure you always have your clamp down. See, now I have a big crease in my hair. Ooh. Alright, and sometimes I like to just flip them over so that they're out of my way. And the higher to the top that you start with your curl is the curlier they're going to be. So if you want them to be less curly, then just don't put your curling iron, God, this is messy here. Don't put your curling iron all the way at the top towards the roots or anything if you want them to be less curly. I probably shouldn't have done mine as close to the roots as I have been. But once we get to the top, see, that's a nice wavy, loose one. Once we get to the top, we'll definitely make sure we aren't going towards the top of the roots. Well, I guess this was the top of this side, but I think it still looks nice and wavy. And we'll just spray a little bit of hairspray on that, and at the end we'll pull out all the curls and make them less spiral and more wavy. So this one, I feel like it's too thick to leave that down by itself, so I even split this one. I just take my fingernail and I will split this one pretty much in half. I pull it around to the back to pull out half of the back with it. Pull that down, and then I just do the same thing as always. I was like, wait, why is my Gossip Girl on pause? And then I remembered I'm recording a video. I'm watching Gossip Girl for the second time, and it's like, if you wait a couple years in between shows, like I'm rewatching Bates Motel too with my family and kind of at home by myself when I'm here. I just switched between Gossip Girl and Bates Motel. But if you wait a couple years in between when you watch it, it's like you're rewatching it for the first time. Like you remember like the big parts of what happened in the show, but you don't remember all the little parts, and it's like kind of fun to rewatch a show that you really loved. All right, last section. Last one. I feel like this didn't take very long at all. Look at this. Good grief. Spray this last section. Alright, so if I want it to be like really loose waves, I'll brush out the waves. I actually really like how they look with them brushed out, but sometimes I just will flip my hair underneath, so I'll just flip it over and I'll just run my fingers through it, and that'll loosen up all of these curls. So hopefully you guys can still see this. So I'll just flip my hair over and run my fingers through all of it. Make sure you get all of the curls so none of them are left being too spiral looking. Just flip it back over. Gonna run your fingers through it some more. Make it look however you're wanting the style to be. Like if I want them to be pretty wavy and less curly, I'll run my fingers through them a lot until I get them to look exactly how I'm wanting it. Like I really like how this looks. They can be looser. Like sometimes I'll do a video on this too. So if I have like 2 or 3 day old hair, I won't curl every piece in my head. I won't separate my hair. I'll just go through and I'll do pretty much the exact same thing, but I'll only do some of the pieces. And then any pieces that are left looking straight, I'll just kind of twirl the ends a little bit. And it'll just overall be super just natural waves. Alright, so I am back and this is the finished look. So I was just going to give you guys a few key points to take away from this so that we can like rehash kind of what to do. So one is, it doesn't really matter if you go upwards or downwards. Just as long as if you want an outside curl, you put the clamp on the inside of the hair. If you want an inside curl, then you will put the clamp on the outside of the hair. The other tip I wanted to put in there that we talked about a little bit is, as you can tell, this is a little bit more curly than I was kind of hoping for. I still like the looseness. I still like how it's not curled through the top and everything. I still think this is a nice, pretty wavy curl, but the less curly you want it to be and the more just waves, the less curls you will do like we did. So if you want it even less curly than this, I would curl it some pieces the way we did, like maybe probably like 3 or 4 on each side of the head. This side, it's parted on the side, so this will have less hair, so maybe like just 2, 3 tops on that side, and then the rest of it, if there's any straight pieces hanging out, I would just like lightly curl, just like one swoop around the end, and then just brush it out. If you brush the hair out, if I brush this, it'll be even more wavy, but I really like the way it looks, so I don't want to brush it out. But yeah, if I did brush it out, it would be even more wavier and less curly. So that's one tip to take away from this. Let me think. And just remember, don't go too close to the root. The higher up you start, the more curly it will be. So if I started way up here, then this whole thing would be curled. Just remember, take thick pieces. Like I only did, like each section of mine only had three pieces of hair. Remember that I did. So I would remember to take thick sections for a wavier look, and yeah, to brush it out. Well, brush it out with your fingers at the end. So the more you play with it, the more you run your fingers through it, you can get it however you are going for and however you want it to look. Alright, so this is the finished look. I backed up a little bit, so hopefully you guys can see my curls a little better. I hope you guys got a lot of good information out of this. If you guys have any more questions, need any more clarification at all about how to get loose wavy curls, ask me those below in the comments. And besides that, I hope you guys have a magnificent week, and I will see you in my next video on Wednesday. Bye guys!